Security is the second pillar of the well-architected framework, and I really like it. So security, we all know what it is, but it includes the ability to protect information, systems, and assets while delivering business value through risk assessment and mitigation strategies. So usually people see security as like, oh, we have to do it. But in the end, when your application is secure, you're really minimizing risk over time and you save cost from disasters, and you really don't want to have a risk or a security issue in your company. Now, how do we design strong security? Well, we need to have a strong identity foundation. So we want to centralize how we manage user accounts. We want to rely on least privilege, and maybe IAM is going to be one of these services to help us do that. We want to enable traceability. That means we need to look at all the logs, all the metrics, and store them and automatically respond and take action every time something looks really weird. We need to apply security at all layers, okay? You need to secure every single layer, such as if one fails, maybe the next one will take over. So edge network, VPC, subnet, load balancer, every EC2 instance you have, the OS, patching it, the application, making sure it's up to date, all these things. You need to automate security best practices, okay? Security is not something you do manually. It's mostly done well when it's automated. You need to protect data in transit and at rest. That means always enable encryption, always do SSL, always use tokenization, and do access control, and need to keep people away from data. So why is someone requesting data? Isn't that a risk? When you allow someone to access data, do they really need it? Or is there a way to automate the need for that direct access and that manual processing of data? And then you need to prepare for security events. So security events must happen someday in every company, I think. And so run response simulations, use tools to automate the speed of detection, investigation, and recovery. Okay, so in terms of AWS services, what does that mean? Well, the first one is going to be identity and access management. So we all know what that means. That means IAM, STS for generating temporary credentials, maybe multi-factor authentication token, and AWS organizations to manage multiple AWS accounts centrally. Then detective control. So how do we detect stuff goes wrong? AWS config for compliance, CloudTrail to look at API calls that look suspicious, CloudWatch to look at metrics and things that may go completely out of norm. And then we get infrastructure protection. So how do we protect our own cloud? Well, CloudFront is going to be a really great first line of defense against DDoS attacks. Amazon VPC to secure your network and making sure you set the right ACLs. And then Shield, we haven't seen this, but it's like basically a way to protect your AWS account from DDoS. WAF, which is a web application firewall. And Inspector to basically look at the security of our EC2 instances. Now, we haven't seen all these services. They're more for the SysOps exam. But again, I just want to give you here an overview of all the AWS services that can help you achieve full security. For data protection, well, we know there's KMS to encrypt all the data at rest. Then there's S3, which has tons of encryption mechanism. We have SSE-S3, we have SSE-KMS, SSEC or client-side encryption. On top of it, we get bucket policies and all that stuff. And then every managed service has some kind of data protection. So load balancer can enable to expose an HTTPS endpoint. EBS volumes can be encrypted at rest. RDS instances also can be encrypted at rest, and they have SSL capability. So all these things are here to protect your data. Incident response, what happens when there's a problem? Well, IAM is going to be a first good line of defense. If there's an account being compromised, then just delete that account or give it zero privilege. CloudFormation would be great. For example, if someone deletes your entire infrastructure, how do you get back into a running state? Well, CloudFormation is the answer. Then, for example, how do we automate all these incident response? How do we automate the fact that if someone deletes a resource, maybe we should alert? CloudWatch events could be a great way of doing that. So that's it. Again, just to show you the synergy here, there's a lot of AWS services, and it's just an example of how you could achieve all these principles with the services. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.